The holiday season is upon us, and yesterday I spent 3 hours mapping out every single current Fuji camera because if you are in the market for a new Fuji camera, whether it's for yourself or for someone you love as a gift, then this gift guide is for you. So I took to Instagram and asked all of you, what Fuji camera should I buy if? And that if is a big blank, if you X, if you Y, if you Z. And today, we're gonna lay out some real world examples, again, whether it's for you or for somebody that you know and love, what camera you should buy. And I thought this might be a bit more helpful instead of just explaining every single camera in the Fuji lineup. I'm gonna give you some actual scenarios for it to make more sense for your purchase. Okay, the first one here is what Fuji camera should I buy if I want a run and gun daily camera? Now, for that, there's a couple of options, and let me tell you why. To me, when I hear the term run and gun, I think of a fixed lens camera, and my mind automatically goes to the Fuji X100VI, or on the more expensive end, the Fuji GFX 100RF. But let's talk about that X100VI first. This camera is really what put Fuji on the map in the last few years with the X100V and now the X100VI. The X100VI has a 40 megapixel sensor with a fixed 23mm lens, which is actually a 35mm lens equivalent on a full frame sensor, which in layman's terms is going to be a great everyday lens for capturing travel, friends, family, and everyday stuff. It's also got a great hybrid OVF and EVF, that's the viewfinder on the camera. It has a really good screen, it can do pretty good video, but this is a photo first camera, and it has great IBIS performance as well. And this guy comes in at a price of $17.99 US. And by the way, for the whole video, I'm only going to be saying the prices in US dollars because that's where most of my viewers are based. And that other camera is the Fuji GFX 100RF. This is a 102 megapixel medium format camera. Again, fixed lens. On this guy, you have a 35mm lens, which is in reverse, a 28mm equivalent on a full frame sensor, and I think that is, again, a really nice, satisfying, comfortable field of view. It's not going to be that tight and useful for things like portraits or anything, obviously telephoto, but 28 is a great journalistic and travel focal length type of lens that is going to be great for, again, most situations. Now again, this choice is a much more niche and enthusiast type of camera. This is not for everyone because it is a medium format and has 102 megapixels. You're looking at a much higher price tag of $5,599. Alright, next, this person says, what Fuji camera should I buy if I have never had a camera in my life, but I want one to take pictures in a budget? Now to me, in the camera world, when I hear in a budget, I think of cameras that are less than $1,000, and for that, we have three options. Option number one is actually the camera that is the newest one in the Fuji lineup, and I actually have it right here. It is the Fuji X-T30 Mark III. This is a 26 megapixel interchangeable lens camera that can do amazing 6.2K open gate video. It has a really nice classic Fuji body that is reminiscent, of course, of film cameras and looks great while you're just taking casual photos out and about. And it only costs $1,000 US. Now for your question, this would genuinely be my top pick, but there are two other options that I will run by you as well. One step down, well, technically down from this camera, is the Fuji XM5, which I have right here, and this camera comes in at a cost of $799 US. Now, most of the specs between this camera, the XM5, and the X-T30 Mark III are virtually the same for photo, megapixels, video, all that stuff. But what you miss out on the XM5 is that you don't have a viewfinder like you do on the X-T30 Mark III, and you don't have a flash. But what you do get is a fully articulating screen and a full-size 3.5mm microphone jack. Now, both of those things are video-focused features, and if you are going to be doing more video, then I would recommend going for the XM5. But to your question, if you're taking more photos, then definitely stick with the X-T30 Mark III. And then one step down from both of these is the Fuji X-Half. Now, I actually think the Fuji X-Half is a bit of a fun, gimmicky camera, but if it is genuinely a camera that you just want for casual photos, nothing even close to professional in terms of delivering a commercial product to a client, let's say, if you just want a fun camera to snap fun pictures, then the Fuji X-Half is also a great choice. specs. Alright, next, this person said, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want some solid landscape shots? Now, for solid landscape shots, I would think of a camera that has at least 40 megapixels. Really, in the Fuji lineup, you have either 26 megapixels or you jump right to 40. So in this situation, I would look at a camera that has 40 megapixels or more. On top of that, I'd also consider a camera that has interchangeable lenses so that you can choose your focal length to get the type of compression or wider angle, either or, depending on what kind of landscape shot you want. So in that case, I would actually rule out a camera like the Fuji X106 that we talked about earlier because it is fixed lens, and instead think about cameras like the Fuji X-T50, the Fuji X-E5, the Fuji X-T5, or the Fuji X-H2. Now, based on the way that you wrote the question, I'm going to assume that you want a camera that can do solid landscape shots, but it's not necessarily a camera that is going to be overly professional, or it's like your full-time job to take landscape shots. You're probably somebody that wants to get better at this and wants to maybe start to make a career or get paid for your photography. And so for that, I would consider either the Fuji X-T50 or the Fuji X-T5. Really, the main difference between the Fuji X-T50 and the X-T5 is that the X-T5 is built to be a more robust professional camera, whereas the X-T50 is a bit more of a casual camera. But the reason I'm so hesitant in even saying that is that they have such similar specs that I would actually save the money and go with the X-T50 at a price point of $15.99 US versus getting the X-T5 at $18.99 US. Now, yes, for that $300 jump, you obviously are getting more features in the X-T5, like a longer battery life, weather sealing, 2 SD card slots, all of these things that are a bit more professional and not as consumer focused. But besides that, they have the same 40 megapixel sensor and the same video specs if you care about that as well. So for me, for solid landscape shots, I recommend the Fuji X-T50. This person says, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want to capture the everyday life of my family? Now for this one, I only have one option, and it would be the new Fuji X-T30 Mark III. Again, this sounds like a more casual use case, and for that, that's why I'm choosing a camera with only a $1,000 price tag, but that can still deliver amazing photos and amazing videos if you want to capture your everyday moments and everyday life of your family in such a great compact form factor. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that the X-T30 Mark III does not have in-body image stabilization or IBIS. Actually, neither of these cameras do, but you do get IBIS in the one camera that is up from this guy, and that is the XS20. Basically, this X-T30 Mark III and the XS20 are virtually the same in my opinion, but on the XS20 you do get IBIS, and if you think you're going to need that additional stabilization for both photo and video, then I would pay the extra money and get the XS20 at $13.99. This person says, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want to take beginner landscape photography, travel, vlogging, and IG reels? Now, when somebody mentions content creation or vlogging, the only two cameras I go to immediately are the Fuji XM5 and the Fuji XS20. Again, the Fuji XM5 is priced at $7.99 US, while the XS20 is priced at $13.99 US, and for that, you're going to get an EVF, a viewfinder on the XS20, as well as that IBIS, the in-body image stabilization. But besides that, they both have a fully articulating screen, they both shoot amazing video at 6.2K open gate, and they both have a 26 megapixel sensor. So bottom line here, if you want to save money, then get the XM5 at $7.99, but if you want that EVF and the IBIS, then spend more, $13.99, and get the XS20. This person says, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want to make content, but also for product photography? Now, when I read this, what I hear is that you want a really good hybrid camera. Now, for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to pick a camera that has really good content creation capabilities, but also a high enough megapixel count so that you can get really high resolution, commercial quality product photography. And for that, I would actually look at the XH2. This camera is in a very well-built professional body. It has a 40 megapixel sensor while still doing really good video up to 8K. And the reason I'm choosing this 40 megapixel camera over other cameras like the X-T5, the X-T50, the X-E5 is because the XH2 has a very angle LCD, which is the same one that you find in the XM5, the one that has a fully articulating screen. A couple of my friends do content and they have the X-T5, and that camera is amazing. It is a great camera, but it drives me insane that it only has the screen that can do a 3-way tilt like this and not actually flip out towards you, the subject. Literally what I'm doing right now to film this video, it does not have that, and it drives me nuts. So for the sake of this conversation, I would actually consider the XH2. Now again, if you really don't think you need the 40 megapixels, then you can go all the way back down to the XS20 and the XM5 and get the exact same video specs, well, basically the same video specs, and just lose out on the 40 megapixels to the 26 megapixels on these cameras. Again, same screen, you get an EVF on the XS20, for example, you get IBIS in the XS20, just like you do on that XH2, but it is a lot cheaper. Now, I do feel like the XH2 and the XH2S are not talked about as much, and I really do understand why, but also don't discount them. They are fantastic hybrid cameras. That's what they're made for, is to be a hybrid camera in the lineup, but to offer a bit more of a professional and robust body type over the more classic film style body type that the rest of the lower end X series has. So just for fun, I would consider looking at the XH2. This person says, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want to learn how to take nice pictures? Okay, this screams beginner, this screams consumer, this screams buying my first ever Fuji camera, and for that, I would consider a camera again like the Fuji X-T30 Mark III. Again, if photography is your focus, then the X-T30 is the better choice over the XM5 because of that viewfinder, and at $1,000, it is a great gateway into the world of Fuji cameras without breaking the bank. My friend Mitchell says, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want to shoot cooking videos? Now, I have a hot take on this one, and let me explain why. Now, for Mitchell's situation with cooking videos, when you're shooting cooking videos, you're most likely on a tripod. And when you're on a tripod, you don't need the IBIS or the in-body image stabilization, and for that reason, I'm going to be choosing the XM5. In fact, if you're taking content creation really seriously with cooking videos, the Fuji XM5 is so cheap that you can get two and shoot two different angles at the same time. Imagine if you were doing a straight-on talking head like this, and you had a top-down flat lay angle as well, both shooting on the XM5, both on tripods, and both not requiring IBIS. The Fuji XM5 has incredible video specs, it's super inexpensive, it's a great body, and has that fully articulated screen, so for $799, I would go this route. This person says, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want to use it just for traveling? Now, when you say just for traveling, I think about two different types of photographers. Type number one is somebody that is a much more traditional type of photographer that doesn't really need all the robust interchangeable lenses and just wants a more journalistic approach to travel photos, and for that, I would choose the Fuji X106. We know it, we love it, it has a fixed lens and it looks beautiful, and if you want to go one step up from that, again, I would go with the GFX 100 RF. That is a serious camera at 102 megapixels, and you are going to pay for it, but it is a travel camera photographer's dream. Then the other type of photographer for travel is somebody that wants something that is lightweight and easy to use, and maybe give you the option down the line to have interchangeable lenses. And for that, I would look at cameras like the Fuji XM5, the new X-T30 Mark III, or the XS20. Again, all of which are 26 megapixel cameras. They all come in a pretty compact and light form factor, and the only differences between something like the XM5 and the X-T30 Mark III is that the XM5 does not have that viewfinder. The X-T30 Mark III does have the viewfinder, and the XS20 has a viewfinder and IBIS. You can see how every camera has an intentional feature that is missing or not missing, depending on where it falls in the lineup of the Fuji cameras, and so that is really what's going to dictate your decision-making purchase. My fiance Brittany said, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want to film workout videos? If you're actually any kind of lifestyle or fitness creator, I would go XM5 all day, only because it has that fully articulated screen. Another option that is one step up is the XS20, which has IBIS and that articulated screen, both of which the XM5 and the XS20 are 26 megapixel cameras, but the XS20 is going to have IBIS. Oh, and an EVF, but most importantly for video, IBIS. And then last but not least, my friend Emma asks, what Fuji camera should I buy if I want a go-to, easy-to-use camera? Now, this is the majority of the questions that I get asked on my TikTok, on my Instagram, and in my emails even from everyone, is they just want a simple go-to everyday camera. And again, I'm going to sound like I'm beating at a dead horse here, but a lot of the same cameras that I've talked about apply here. For me, if you don't care about having a viewfinder, which is the thing that you put your eye through here to take a photo, then get the XM5. It's $799 US, it's super cheap, it's super reliable, it is fantastic for for everyday use. If you do want the viewfinder, then one step up is the X-T30 Mark III. If you want a viewfinder and you want the image stabilization, if you're shaky or you're doing run and gun style shooting that's not as much on a tripod, then look at the XS20. If you think 26 megapixels is not enough and you want 40 instead of 26, then look at the X-T50. If you want a body and internal mechanics that are a bit more robust, then get the X-T5. It also has weather sealing, so there's that too. If you don't care about being able to change the lens on the camera at all, then get the X106. And if you don't care about any of that and you want just a fun, everyday, casual camera that is genuinely just for fun, it's for very casual use, then look at the Fuji X-Half. Now you'll notice that I didn't mention a lot of the much higher end Fuji cameras in this video, and that is because most people are not shopping for those cameras either for themselves or for a gift. The reality is those higher end cameras are for a very specific type of person, and the vast majority of shoppers, especially during the holiday season, are looking for that lower to medium end camera. And for that, as we've just seen, Fuji has a ton of options. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.